What I know about Red Reserve is they've got Niall, so it's one of them ones. We played them in Birmingham, we smoked them in Birmingham. Definitely outclassed their team in every aspect of the game in terms of slaying, smarts.
The matchup between Elevate, I think we should beat them twice. They're not in the best place as a team right now, and we are better than them.
As long as we slay in the respawns, we should easily take it. They're a pretty good S&D team. They like to make it a bit random, but we can beat them 3-1. We've done it in Birmingham. We know we can do it again.
The key to beating Elevate, we should be starting strong. If they get the first map, it just makes the whole thing a lot longer and draws it out more. But if we take the first map, we should take the S&D as well, so that's 2-0 up, and then obviously it's in our favour from there on.
Depending on the second S&D map, if they get something like throwback, they'll probably take it. If not, we should 3-0. Can't see them being that much of a threat.
We should be able to 3-0. Pretty confident words there out of Reedy. After watching both teams, who's the stronger out of the two?
Honestly, I'm leaning in these respawns a bit more towards Elevate. Yes, Red had to go against Optic, so it might not be the best sort of showing from them to start off. So I think it's going to be fairly even. Elevate was showing a lot of high momentum gameplay in those first couple of hard points, so I think they're going to come out again here on this breakout.
Elevate. They just fell to Enigma 6. If you're just joining us, they are currently 0-1 on the weekend. On the other side, the same story for Red Reserve, who matched up against Optic Gaming, but that series was much closer than a lot of people would think after seeing the numbers 3-1 overall in series count. The uplink, it came down to the wire, and then at the very end, we saw, of course, the hard points go in Optic's favor, but look out for Red Reserve and Search and Destroy. To open things up, though, we're going to breakout. It's hard point, and we're going to be kicking things off here with Red Reserve. Shawnee, of course, a former teammate of the boys on Elevate. He has switched sides and is going to be looking to dish out some damage.
Looks like Joe's going to be starting off with this ERAD here on Breakout. I'm a huge fan of it. We saw Vortex on the side of Epsilon in the last weekend make some good use of it. You can put so much pressure, especially in these close sort of corridors, as you see him move towards showers. Some back and forth gunfights going down. He does find one, so a quick 3 dead from Red Reserve. A solid start.
Great start here. You get your intro 3 kills, rated the only player from Elevate able to pick up an early one in your first 14 seconds and counting in favor of Red Reserve. We take a look at the mini-map though, TP, and where should we be focused on as it gets down to about 15 points left on this hill?
Well, you can see number 6, that red arrow on your mini-map, sort of making that play over towards through Spiral, getting his teams those spawns over towards that second hard point. So a good rotation from him to get his teammates those spawns, but you have to win the gunfights. A team kill coming in, not sure exactly what happened there.
It's probably one bullet from Watson.
Yeah, looks like the flood is going to be coming in from Red Reserve. Oh, the game's broken.
Yeah, we're gonna restart this. Someone from Elevate having some controller issues. I believe it's Zed. So we'll get that fixed and we'll go at it one more time. But you saw kind of the opening strategies coming out for both teams. ERADs will be into play on Breakout. And I was asking Niall, actually, who's the most annoying player to play from? He said anyone from Epsilon, because they love running ERADs on this map. It seems it's going to be something we're going to see from Red Reserve. Who's annoyed by it?
Yeah, it's all positioning, right? Yes, these maps have longer lines of sights. I think some teams need to start using it on retaliation as well. You can, as long as your positioning is good, you can use that movement to your advantage and use that weapon in those close quarters to your advantage. So ERAD's going to be very important. You know, got to get this first game restarted. It's all good. I thought it was a little bit weird that Watson absolutely gunned his teammate, so that's when I thought things were fishy.
Yeah, I was like, he only put 1 to 4 bullets in his teammate's back. So we're going to get a fresh restart here. And once again, this is match number 3. It's the battle between Elevate and, of course, Red Reserve, our 2 European squads. Elevate, they opened up the year kind of in the top 10 of everybody's teams to watch globally list. Right. Since then, they have plummeted. They have not had a good land showing. Anytime that there's Americans involved in the tournament, this would be a big statement if they're able to come out and make a spot in the playoffs for themselves. But they're going to have to get through Red Reserve first, and of course, we'll have to see how they match up against Enigma 6 and Optic Gaming later in the weekend. But if there's a hope for Elevate, if there's a star player on this team, who's the guy to watch? Because everyone's counting them out after the Deserto article came out saying that these guys didn't even practice before the tournament.
Well, you have to look towards the R&R duo, Rated and Reedy. They sure talk a lot when it comes to social media on how much better they are in general. Well, it's time to put up or shut up, in my opinion. They need to get a good result. You can't just keep talking all this trash and putting up all this, you know, confidence in yourself if you're not going to show it in a situation like this. So now's the time to shine. you have to note as well, as this weekend goes on, these head-to-head matchups are going to be so important, and these early ones are the most important ones in my opinion. Both teams were able to win one map in their first series, so whichever team is able to get the better of it, the map count could come into play as well.
Fantastic point to bring up once again. Map count so important across the entire 3 days. If you look back to Luminosity and Epsilon last week, it all came down to that last match. If Luminosity won 2 maps, they were through to the playoffs, and that's exactly what happened as they closed out their games versus United. We saw our team elevate. Now it's time, though, to hear from the boys from Red Reserve. This is how they got here today.
Red Reserve has gone through a lot of changes this season. At the beginning of the Infinite Warfare season, the organization was without a team, but they obtained the Complexity roster following CWL Vegas. Prior to CWL Atlanta, the former Complexity roster announced they would not be representing Red Reserve after the event, leading to Red Reserve's purchase of Orbit. That meant Joe, Rated, Urban, and Zero would be operating under their banner. However, the team would not stay together long. The team felt the impact of EU roster mania following CWL Paris, leaving them with a roster of Joe, Urban, Niall, and Shani to compete at CWL Dallas. In the 2Ks leading up to Dallas, the new roster finished first and second in the 2 tournaments, going from a question mark to a dark horse at CWL Dallas. Their tough pool sent them to the losers bracket, where their run to finish top 6 was incredibly impressive. They managed to take out Supremacy, Fnatic, Enigma 6, and Evil Geniuses, before ultimately falling to European counterpart Splice, in what was one of the best finishes by a European team in Infinite Warfare thus far.
Major credit to Red Reserve for making that one a very, very close match when it came down to that last hard point.
The current incarnation of this team will be defined by the aforementioned losers bracket run at CWL Dallas. But what really gives them promise moving forward is their success in Search and Destroy. Not a single player on the squad finished Dallas above a 1.0 KD in respawn game modes. Their statistics in S&D, however, are almost the polar opposite of a team like Luminosity in North America. Shani jumps to a 1.13, Joe to a 1.14, and Urban to a 1.13. Keep an eye on Red Reserve's performance in this game mode, as they won 75% of their S&Ds at CWL Dallas. Teams that are strong in S&D have the ability to steal a series from many top teams. However, if they want to consistently hang with the world's best, they must fix their respawn woes. Tune in on May 12th to 14th to see if Red Reserve can continue to build on their momentum in Stage 1 of the Global Pro League.
And we are back. We're ready to go. There's a look at Joe. Red Reserve gearing up for their first game of Hardpoint on Breakout. Now, something I want to point out before this game kicks off. That man on the right of your screen, Niall, only dropped 10 kills in their last Hardpoint against Optic Gaming. It was pretty close when he was in the kill feed. At the end of the game, he disappeared, and Optic ran away with the win on Scorched. This game, though, going up against Elevate, we already saw Rated putting together some nice streaks. He's got to be a consistent factor. Niall has to be slaying just at the same pace as Elevate.
And what we've seen throughout this Global Pro League in general is these EU teams struggling to close out games in clutch situations. How many times have we seen a close hard point to where one of these teams just gives up 2 hard points in a row? You can't let that happen. So we're going to see which team is going to be better at that throughout the weekend. Whichever one can perform in those clutch situations will probably qualify.
And you heard Red Reserve, none of their 4 players had positive numbers in respawn back at MLG Dallas. We'll see who is going to put up the big numbers. My eyes are going to be on Urban all game long for Red Reserve. On the other side, keep your eyes on Rated. He was angry with that last loss, and normally when you get Rated fired up, that's when he's at his best. Niall on your screen here with the K-bar, sloppy shots and immediately punished. It's going to be a trade back and forth, 2 up for each squad, but early control should go to Red Reserve.
Looks like Red's starting off exactly how they did the first time around, getting some early time on this first hard point, locking down the showers. The most important thing where you see Urban right here. If you're able to lock down loading and showers, it forces the sort of flood from the middle alley from the other team. He's doing a great job of it, and most of all, it gives you this nice line of sight over towards the hard point, helping out your teammate.
Urban on a 4 streak to open things up. He was my player to watch coming in. And he is doing a fantastic job on our first hard point. Rotating over to the second. Challenger in the window is going to dodge out. And here's the trade. Nice movement there by Elevate. The teammates working together to get the kill, and they're set up first.
Joe is going to be this #1 in your minimap. Just needs to hang out towards the back, trying to win his team this rotation. His teammate picks up a huge kill. That should signal him to try and challenge. Yes, he wins it. A nice pinch from Red Reserve, and they should be able to break this hard point fairly quickly. Yes, they are a bit far out, but Joe's playing this perfectly. He knows he's the most important person in the setup, and now he allows his team to flood. A perfect setup from Joe.
Joe, the captain of Red Reserve. He was a member of the Splice squad that finished second last year at the championship. Now, with the new squad, he's brought in the young talent from Scotland, Shawnee. He's back on a squad with Urban, and Niall has been their recent pickup after a fantastic start to IW. Currently, Niall inside the hill, waiting for the pressure, but Urban outside is just keeping everybody off of him.
Beautiful stuff, and a lot of pressure from Urban, starting off 8-1 in this one, and I love the long route he's taking. He knows he's going to try and get these rotation, these spawns over towards back cave for him and his team. Needs to take his time, though. But his teammate does pick up a kill, and that's exactly what you want to see when you're on a large flank like this. He's going to try and find this one player, does find him. A huge gunfight win from him. Needs to stay alive now.
Zed even knew it was coming. He was looking for the challenger, but no one can stop Urban right now. He started off 4-0. This is a 6 streak. 10, make it 11-1. He's working on the bombardment. Everything going right here for Red Reserve. They're already over 80 points, holding their opponents to just 16, and they have full control right now over the drill.
The slaying is insane. Shawnee just picks up a 3-piece. Rated
Graves
answers back over towards Spiral, but so much time going in their favor. Going to be over a 100-point lead after the last couple of seconds of Cave, and they're not rotating at all. Elevate's going to try and fight back as strong as they can, but it's just lining up kills for Urban. Almost gets the third. Teammate should be able to trade it.
Watson dropping 2 bodies into the graveyard. Shawnee's there to trade it out. So even the scrap time, it's going in favor here of Red Reserve. They're the first to break 100 points. At this point in the game, though, you got 6 kills from Joe, 9 kills from Shawnee, Niall just at 5. It has been kind of a one-man performance up to this point. The whole squad's going to need to turn it up if they want to finish strong. On the other side for Elevate, no one having a good game. No one can string multiple kills together. And it looks like Red Reserve is simply winning the battle for rotations as well.
This slaying is absolutely insane right now. No one can seem to shut down Urban. Almost has more kills than the entire opposing team. Has streaks to work with, has the FTL if he needs it. There is one more player contesting towards the back, forcing the spawn out a bit, but he knows it. He got the call out. Rated does win that gunfight, so a bit of a saving grace for Elevate, but they're down 110.
Rated gonna fall once again. If you can, just keep that camera on Urban coming off the spawn after Niall. In fact, here he is now. Talk to me a little bit about Urban's positioning. You can see the wall runs being watched by Joe. When is Urban gonna have to spring into action?
Just going to wait it out, going to try and push and get these trades over towards this wall run. Like I said before, on this rotation over towards middle, you need to get Showers control. He's able to get that first gunfight, and Elevate's able to trade it out. So it's a good positioning from them to try and get some score back in their favor. But the way Urban's playing, he has these streaks we need to note as well. Probably going to save those over towards the next cave hard point. The man is just not missing.
20-6, and we're finally through a full rotation. Urban has been a monster in the first half of the game. This is where Elevate, though, can start their comeback. Already 20 unanswered points in the center of the map. Up next, they'll have to battle for cell block control, but Urban is looking on the flank. Finds Rated, doesn't get away with his life. Too many players here from Elevate. They have a 3-stack in the middle, but once again, Joe starting to give Red Reserve those good spawns.
Zed's so good at putting on team pressure, but that's a grenade from your teammate taking him out. Elevate does get some time there to make the score just a bit closer. Urban, sort of the pest in their side, working up towards loading again, helping out Niall on the hill. And just how many times have we switched on board with Urban and he's just picking up free kills? We talked about how his positioning has been so good, and it's all about learning, reading the information from the kill feed, reacting from it. Gets a few free kills, and now he's on the next hard point.
And look at this. I mean, Urban's at 29 engagements so far. Joe has been playing purely for the spawns. Just 9 and 8 after that kill. He has been staying out of the action, picking up the important kills on possible flankers, setting up his teammates for success. And that enables a guy like Urban to go off. Urban continuing to dominate, just 7 bullets left, has to switch to the pistol, and he's still able to pick up the kill on Reedy.
We didn't catch it there, but Shawnee made a huge play as well. He baited out those players from middle, slid to the back truck, picked up a kill as you watch Joe go on a huge flank over towards Showers. Might get taken out in just a second. Oh, almost turns and burns. Urban picks up 2. But Shawnee bought so much time for the players in the hill and gave them a lot of information which is so important. Now they're getting the rest of this cell block hard point. They have streaks. They have the payloads going to be loading up first for them. This game could be over very quick.
It's going to be about 30 points to go if you're Red Reserve. Time to call in the streaks. Elevate is set up in the caves first. But I think we could see this game end on this new hard point as he tries to curve the last rocket around. Urban is going to be out of the action for about 10 seconds. His teammates trying to break through. Elevate has to hold strong. They could lose on this hill.
Bit of a poor streak, honestly. You know the other team's going to be posted up in towards that cave. Your teammates aren't set up to put on pressure. You don't have the pinch coming in at all. So a bit too early on that streak from Urban. You have the utility. I get that you want to use it as fast as possible, but they didn't make enough use out of it. Bombardment coming down from him, though, does pick up one.
Reedy on your screen here for Team Elevate. Zed and Reedy all over the kill feed. That is 4 down, each player picking up 2. And this is a full 60 to Elevate, it looks like, bringing them back into the game. I was worried they're going to be putting this 60-point club. They're definitely going to be breaking 100. They're set up for the new hill as well. The Red Reserve was so good at breaking to start things off. Here's Urban picking off Watson. Shawnee did take out a teammate, so you're losing an attacker. But at the end of the day, it's Red Reserve breaking through Watson. Their only hope. Going to try and challenge by himself. Needs to wait for teammates here. And here comes Watson, has some help from behind, but not the kills he wanted. It's Urban coming over the wall run, Nile from the pinch, and Red Reserve is gonna break on through. That should lock it up, Teep.
Absolutely huge plays from Red there. They hit the quad wall run on the rotation, which is a bit unorthodox in my opinion. They didn't fight the spawns, but if you win the gunfights, it doesn't matter. Elevate trying to do their best to contest where they can. Red only needs 10 seconds though. They win the gunfights. The pistol coming out from Urban. The trade comes in. That's game.
4, 3, 2, 1. Urban finishes this one near triple positive, 31 and 12. He had 20 kills by the time we got back to the center of the map. Fantastic start, stronger finish. Red Reserve looking like a much different team going up against another EU squad when it comes to hardpoint.
Well, they did go up against Optics, one of the best respawn teams in the game, so obviously this one looking a lot more lopsided into their favor. You need to highlight the plays Urban was making, though. He really was the one that got them that 150-point lead almost by himself. The positioning was perfect, the fundamental gameplay on rotation. The streaks were awful, but it didn't matter.
Don't use your streaks next time. Just keep picking up 2, 3 pieces with the K-bar. Urban definitely the man of the match for game number 1. Elevate. You look at their game, nothing went their way. They were getting outslayed early on. It seemed that the rotations were a little bit sloppy. Joe kept catching flankers off guard. If you're looking for potentially a Game 4 comeback at another hard point, what is the biggest issue, though, that you need to address?
Maybe just try and slow it down. There's a lot of situations where they were not clearing out that loading on first hard point, for example. It's a step-by-step process to break these hard points, and they're trying to skip the steps. You can skip them if you're picking up kills, but we just saw there, they weren't picking up the kills, so you have to play correct hard point. They weren't going to the correct areas. They weren't, number one, focusing Urban down, especially over towards loading. It all snowballed out of control for him.
I talked to Reedy way back at PSX, and I asked him about how he put together this Elevate squad. He said, at the end of Black Ops 3, I felt like Watson and I felt like Zed were 2 of the best players in the game. Well, he's playing alongside them now, and it's been a downward spiral, but let's take a moment to see how they got here today.
The Elevate organization shifted away from owning a North American team to picking up a European team at the beginning of Infinite Warfare. The EU roster started off as Reedy, Zed, Watson, and Shawnee, and there were big expectations for a team that seemed to have all of the pieces. A veteran leader, young talented players, and a solid mix of international experience. The year started rather well for the new look Elevate roster. They captured a top 12 finish at CWL Vegas and quickly followed that up with 3 top 4 finishes in the following online 2K tournaments in their region. From there, they were able to record an impressive 3rd place finish at CWL London. Elevate followed that up with another top 12 finish in Atlanta, but fell to the top 16 at Paris the following weekend, raising questions about this roster's longevity. The defining moment for Elevate may prove to be the recent roster change. After the poor finish at Paris, Elevate decided to part ways with young up-and-comer Shawnee and replace him with EU veteran Rated, who finished second at the 2016 Call of Duty Championship with Splice. Reedy and Rated have teamed together for at least a portion of every single Call of Duty title since 2014. There's a lot of history and at times success when these two combine forces. CWL Dallas, however, was not one of them. They continue to decline and eventually finish top 24, their lowest placing of 2017. All eyes will be on whether or not Elevate can fix the numerous issues that plague their roster in Dallas. Some people are questioning the motivation behind the team. Not only do they have to fix their in-game mistakes, but also the mentality to see success in the future. Tune in May 12th through the 14th to see how Elevate perform in Stage 1 of the CWL Global Pro League.
Towards the end of that video, you saw Reedy getting up, standing, and yelling at his opponents. I feel like that's what you need right now if you're Elevate. You need someone from Red Reserve to start talking smack, wake up Rated, wake up Reedy, because they were non-factors in our first hardpoint. Now, though, it's a totally different game mode. We're switching it up and heading to Red Reserve's best game type. It's Search and Destroy, this time in Retaliation.
Yeah, this series could pretty heavily go in Reds pretty quickly. They were to take that hard point with pretty much ease, and going into their best game mode, you expect them to do it again to take the 2-0 lead.
When Red Reserve played against Optic Gaming, the strongest player in Search was Urban, the same man who just dropped 31 in 12 in game number 1. He's going to be my player to watch. Let's keep our eyes, though, on this Elevate squad. Reedy's pulling off a sniper rifle here to open things up. We'll see if he stays with his class, and it looks like we are going to restart this one. One day, we're going to figure out how to plug in the headphones for Zed.
Looks like there's some communication issues going on for the guys. Got to make sure that's all squared out, leveled out before we get into this one. Search and Destroy, obviously you need to talk to each other.
You got to hear the calls, right?
Very important.
On the other side, it looks like Red Reserve is going to switch out their cables as well. Looking at the Search, though, let's talk about Retaliation. We saw a potential weapon that I don't want to name. How useful is it on this map, Teep?
It's tough. I'm not a huge advocate of sniping in general in Infinite Warfare, and it's not like the snipers are bad. I think it's a very strong weapon. We saw, Proto hitting crazy shots, Formal hitting crazy shots. It's just harder to hit those shots on average. If you take the percentage-wise, it's going to be, you're not going to be as effective. You can't get those trades as easily with a pistol, for example, especially going into late round situations. So if you're using a sniper and you get a pick within the first 30 seconds, I'm totally fine with it, right? It gives your team that early advantage. But if you're just hanging out in the back of the map, it forces your teammates to play so slow also. So it can hinder you if you're not making plays early.
Well, Watson, he was hitting some nasty snipes, and they're Search and Destroy on throwback. He was doing it at range. He was doing it up close and personal. And I want to ask you kind of about the secondary that we're seeing. Watson chooses to go with the Oni. We saw someone like Proto who's going with the single-shot pistol, the EMC. So how useful are the pistols here? And I guess, depending on the sniper, if you decide to pull one out, when are you going to be in danger knowing that everyone else is running either an ERAD or an AR?
I guess it's more in those long-range scenarios where it's sort of that long mid-range, if that makes sense. The close quarter, you can whip up that pistol, whether it's the Oni or the EMC, and have that not necessarily an advantage, but the ability to pick up a kill. It's those mid-range gunfights that the assault rifles and probably the ERAD are going to take over. So, while it is personal preference when it comes to the pistols, someone like Nagafen prefers the single shot. You can flare that up as fast as possible, whereas the Oni speeds up over time.
All right, we'll keep our eyes on the weaponry. For now, though, we got a lot of love on Twitter for this one. If you didn't catch Zed and Watson smiling, here's another look at them reading bad jokes.
Right. What did one ocean say to the other ocean?
I don't know.
Nothing, they just waved. All right.
Why did this stoplight turn red? You would too if you had to change in the middle of the street.
Why didn't the toilet paper cross the road? It got stuck in a crack.
Where does a sheep go for a haircut? To the barber shop.
I can't do this. All right. Why can't your nose be 12 inches long? Because then it'll be a first. All right.
Stop messing about, man. What kind of tea is hard to swallow?
What?
Reality.
What did you say to your sister when she's crying? Are you having a crisis?
What does a clock do when it's hungry?
What?
Goes back 4 seconds.
Why did Snoop Dogg need an umbrella? Food drizzle.
What did the finger say to the thumb? I'm in glove with you.
Why don't dinosaurs talk? Because they're dead. Who came up with these words? Did I win?
You won.
Zed is awful at keeping the straight face while telling jokes, but he is very serious up on the main stage right now. We take a look back at game number 1. We talked about Zed being a star slayer, wasn't able to get the job done, just a .82. On the other side, you see Urban, a 2.58. He was definitely the difference maker, and it shows there on the cell block.
The money hills, look at that. 10 points for Elevate. That's why I got out of hand so quickly. Urban on those rotations on the first cycle of hills was just really the nail in the coffin so early in that one. So Elevate didn't really have much of a chance. They tried to fight back on the rooftop. And then that second grave, they did a good job of setting up towards cave. The streaks sort of weren't great from Urban. That allowed them to get that time to be fair, but
Yeah.
still got some time back.
Fail streaks, and then you have your teammates pushing in one at a time into Reedy and Zed. End of the day, though, it was a blowout in game number 1. And now we'll see, will Elevate be able to tie up this series score? The players going over the strategies one more time. It's Red Reserve going up against Elevate. Both teams coming in with a loss earlier on the day, trying to improve their overall record here in group stages to 1-1. And we're heading into retaliation for search and destroy. We talked about how the snipers have been put in play in our first 2 matches. Now we'll see who is going to be more effective. Is Watson going to continue pulling it out for Elevate? On the Red Reserve side, will anyone be bringing it to the table? If you're playing this, if you're on the attack, after we know that the defensive spawns have been switched up, where are you going? Where are you going to have more success on this map?
I think you really need to feel out that plat control first to decide if B is going to be, doable, if that makes sense. Some of the defensive teams still play a little bit further back on their defenses and not really get that plat control. So I would really feel it out towards the middle of the map.
Okay.
Have a scout over towards A as well. That could probably be your sniper, to be honest. Just gain information in the first round or 2, and then decide your sort of main strategy for the rest of the game.
Rated looks pissed. That's always a good sign if you are a fan of Elevate. He's coming in angry. And if it's anything like the first time this loaded up, Elevate will be on the attack first. Red Reserve coming in with a 1-0 lead after the hard point. There's the A-bomb site on top of the bridge. Much more difficult to plant. Team's starting to figure it out, though, as the game lives on. The B-bomb site going to be heavily targeted at the lower street, and Reedy's sticking with it. He's pulling out the sniper rifle. He's got the pistol in the back pocket, and he switched it up to the EMC.
Gonna see how they're gonna go after this one. Looks like he is gonna be working over towards this wall run side towards A, see if he can spot anyone with this thermal on the longbow. Nothing yet. Gonna call that out to his team to see if they change any sort of strategy, but doesn't look like it. Zed clearing out this bike shop, bomb planter moving up towards B Street, and looks like initial plat control went to Red, but they're backing up.
Yeah, and Watson kind of fended off 3 players from pushing through. Now you see Reedy spotting his teammate across the hall. That means all the opponents move towards your teammates. Zed picks up Nile first. He's buying his teammates time. Fantastic work inside a bike by Zed. And you are going to see the man advantage go in favor here of Elevate. Look out, though, for Urban. He's on the long flank, and he's about to find 3 people. There it is. Urban trades out 1, but Rated is able to take him out.
So good trade there. Elevate, I like the call. They get the first blood, gonna wrap this bomb site and plant it instantly. 1 versus 3 situation. Now Reedy was camping in that hotel, has that sniper in hand, looking for this last kill, shoots the wall. That's not a good shot.
Shawnee about to find all 3 of them, and his former teammates will gun him down. First score going in favor here of Elevate.
Good round. That's exactly what you want to do. You get the first blood, you get map control, you gain information. Most importantly, they make the call out to wrap over towards A. Great stuff. Good round.
Slow plays here in Search and Destroy. A lot of patience being shown from both squads. On their first defensive stand, it was Red Reserve pushing 3 through the hallway. It looked like they were going to have early advantage, and then it all fell apart. Joe on your screen now for Red Reserve, going to be leading the charge with the E-Red. They peek, they see Reedy at the end, and it's going to be Shawnee backing up. The bomb, though, starting to make its way down towards B. And Joe's ready to pounce on anyone that may be in that broken window.
So this is sort of the bread and butter strategy we're used to seeing on retaliation. That's sort of what I was talking about early, Chris. You cannot let the offense just take that plat control so easily because it allows you to plant this bomb site and have such good line of sight. Some trades going down over towards these market steps. Joe gets the call out and has this E-Red in hand, some shaky shots, but does pick up the kill with the teammate shot from Plat. And it should be an easy round for Red here.
Rated with the sniper rifle is challenging. He's got a player around the corner. Pistol out now, it looks like, and actually Rated was able to find an NV4. Reedy trying to keep opponents off the site, and instead it's going to be Rated left up in a 1v3. This is looking like it's all Red Reserve. 1-1.
The whole point of the defensive change spawn is to allow the defense to have more chance to get Plat. Elevate just gave it up anyway.
Yeah, they didn't even...
You have to try and contest it, otherwise those rounds that we're used to seeing on retaliation happen. It's just too much map control for the offensive team, and it just makes the round so easy.
It didn't look like, you know, we watch a lot of teams like E United who are just constantly trading and search and destroy. It didn't look like either team had a player in position to trade out kills. Everyone trying to win individual fights. Elevate's back on the attack. Reedy's sticking with this sniper rifle despite only picking up 1 kill of the 2 rounds.
Kind of an odd strategy, too. You actually flanked with that sniper on the last one. Watson opening up with the first blood. Brady gets the call out that players are pushing up towards this hotel side. And very quickly, Niall stuck in the 1 versus 4 situation. He does have a pretty good spot here at the scaffolding. Might be able to surprise a few of these players, but can't find anything yet.
Niall going for the long flank. Bomb is down behind him. It's a 1-on-4. He's just going to jump off. Don't feed for the specialist abilities at all.
If you're going to jump off, do it before they plant.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean?
300 points.
The whole point is to not allow points. I disagree with that. You got to do it right away if that's your call.
If you guys could watch Teep casting this one, he is just shaking his head as the game goes on. Teep, I don't blame you. At times it's difficult to watch these guys. Clearly, they have not been working together recently. They did talk to both squads. They said, we've been putting in COD time, but most of it's been individual.
That can be helpful. Oh, as we see Niall just punch Zed in the face over towards Bike. 2 first bloods going into Red's favor. Looks like rounds just being traded back and forth. Neither team really liking these defensive rounds. There is one player being a bit sneaky on the market steps, but the trade coming in, finally some teamwork coming.
And where's Rated there? Like, you look at the Elevate spread, they're on opposite sides of the map, and they purposely ran away from each other towards the end. So Elevate starting to crumble a bit there. Red Reserve answers back. Here's a look at the final kill as Joe picking off Reedy.
We're going to see which team's going to be able to adapt on these defenses first. The team that does it will be the one to win it. They're trading these offensive rounds. They're not grouping up. The trading hasn't been too great. I mean, Red's been doing fine, but it's really bread and butter strategies over towards B, something that you can't really mess up because it's such a close area.
Your blue arrows, that's Red Reserve. They're going to be on defense here, and they immediately all 4 go down low to the B-bomb site. Meanwhile, here's a long wrap. You see the aggressive flank coming in. Rated going to back up, just knows that this bomb is going to be safe to plant. Only 1 player going to be nearby to support him, though. It's going to be Rated and Reedy and make it just Reedy now in a 1v3.
Picks up 2. But everyone's been cleared out already. So, and that's exactly what you don't want to see from Reedy there. Like, why is he like playing a corner with a sniper, whips out his pit? Like, you want someone else to be playing that sort of situation if they do end up hitting that site. Like, he gets trapped in these situations where he has to bait his teammates because he doesn't have an automatic weapon. Yes, he does pick up 2 with a snipe, which is cool and flashy and helps the scoreboard a little bit. But what is he actually doing to help his team there? Nothing really.
Making sure no one comes bridge.
Yeah, well, let's see how that worked.
Just kidding. Urban on your screen to open things up. There's the challenge we're used to. Right away, the player runs. Now it's Reedy once again with the snipe in hand. Urban going to be making his way down, and there's a player right around the edge. Zed picked off instantly as Urban hits the headshots, but Watson trades him out. So nice team trades coming in here. Niall is going to chase down Watson. There's the teamwork we were looking for. But once again, look at those red arrows. You got Rated number 1 on your screen. Reedy on the opposite end is sitting in the hallways, and they are going up against all 3 Red Reserve players who are stacked up together running past A. The bomb should be going down any moment. Niall's going to get it down.
Reedy picked up on that flank. Gonna see if he can pick up any kills as this bomb does go down. The camo is earned, but stuck with the sniper again. Shawnee gets that nade off to the car. It's too easy. It looks like two duos playing Search and Destroy on the side of Elevate, and it's really making me angry. Two players are contesting that bomb site that you need to do.
Zed and Watson, yep.
And how many, that's like the third time I've seen Rated go on a late flank, do nothing. Reedy's stuck with a sniper in a situation he can't help anyone. It's kind of pathetic, to be honest, for me. I know I'm being very critical of this team right now, but they're not helping each other at all.
You're a world champ, man. You got a ring. I'm just going to sit back and listen for now, though. Elevate back on the attack. And we're going to see what they're able to get done. Rated is going to lead the charge with the bomb. And here is a three-person spread down low. The flank is being watched by Urban as he keeps eyes on Bridge. So a lot of pressure here on Urban to scout out the movement of Elevate. The rest of Red Reserve getting ready to pounce. And after showing themselves, it looks like they're going to back away safely.
I love these strats from Red. They're just going to leave that one person over towards Bike to see if he can sniff anything out as they rotate back. Urban not finding anything towards the street, so they're expecting that sort of middle rush. Nile, unfortunate. Probably could have picked a better spot, but regardless, gets that information over to his team, and now they need to rotate as soon as possible. Bomb is going to be planted. We got to remember, Urban does have that FTL at the ready. Reedy has camo, I believe, so payloads should be coming into place here pretty soon.
And Watson is just ring around the rosy with Joe. Finally, Watson is going to win that battle with the ERAD. Zed's going to poke out, take down Urban, who wasn't expecting it. A lot of pressure on Shawnee here.
There we go.
And the young Scott won't be able to get it done. Teamwork coming in. Reedy has put away the sniper rifle, and they win a round.
It's good stuff. Good trading. They spot out. They clear. It was a slow round, and they played it quite well. Cleared out the areas of the map that they need to clear out. They get control of Bike Shop. They get control of Plat. And what do you know? B opens up for you. So step by step, fundamental S&D finally from Elevate, and they win a round.
And props there to the man with the tattoos, Reedy, who got first blood as well. Red Reserve, they're up 2 rounds, trying to extend their lead once again. Nile has the camo ready to pop, but he's also your bomb carrier. On the other end, look out for Rated on the long flank. Urban has been watching the flank every single round, though. Rated has been spotted. He's been called out. Keep your eyes on those blue arrows to see how they react to it. Rated simply going to run away.
Kind of a mistake giving Nile that bomb again. Want to get those points to one of your other players to earn those payload abilities, but regardless, he has the camo to clutch up in a situation. Looks like Urban just playing super far back in the spawn. Reedy opens up over towards Market Steps. Watson getting aggressive towards Plat with his teammate. Should have control this round in a 2 versus 4 now for Red.
Elevate has turned their game around. And we're going to see, is Reedy going to find another pick? Urban just took out Watson. So it's the 2-on-3, as you mentioned. Urban FTL jump, not super effective in Search and Destroy so far.
Yeah, been holding it for quite a while. Does spot one player. Decent shots over towards that van. They really need to try and get a kill to even out this numbers before they let the other team
Shots fired, and good trade here from Red Reserve. Shawnee's going to find Rated as well. So from a 2v3 now to a 1-on-1, Reedy is able to pick up Shawnee, so we have just Urban left alive for Red Reserve. Time running out. Round goes to Elevate.
Not sure what Red's entire plan was there. They get the kill at Plat, and then they just need to make a decision to get to the bomb as fast as possible. Reedy plays that perfect. Knows he got that kill when he probably should not have, as they do decide to get over towards B. The teammate decided to chase. It would have been really close if he decided to go for the plant, so it's sort of a coin flip situation. Reedy plays it perfectly, gets out. Even round count now at 4 apiece.
Every round so far, we've seen a flanker and we've seen a defender watching the flanks. Who is going to run as a 4-man squad first in this game? It looks like it might not even happen. Rated's going to check the hallway. His 2 teammates hanging back, looking for action over at B. Meanwhile, it looks like Reedy is going to be that first challenger on the flank, peeking with the NV4. Urban is around the corner. That shot fired is going to alert him of his presence, and Reedy is going to run away.
Just being the scout for his teammate over towards A. Looks like Red knows that he's there alone, and he gets picked off. Just being too aggressive over towards that side. He's been doing it this entire S&D game. Finally gets punished for it. They decided to just do a normal sort of plant towards B. I don't necessarily disagree with it. If you have the map control, might as well do it. Sticking on board with Nile here, though. He has the camo. Might pop it as he goes through Market
This
Steps.
is the camo retake, right?
Yeah.
You know they're going to be everywhere. You just got to jump in there, use your payload. There's a player behind the tree, doesn't see it. And down goes Camo, down goes Shawnee. Joe was able to trade out Watson. So a 2-on-2 now for Urban and Joe. They're running out of time, though. And now they're running out of players. Here's a Camo rated to lock up the lead for Elevate from 4-2. Now it's going to be 5-4 back in favor of Elevate after putting away the sniper rifle.
That's really what they needed. Reedy having a good game overall. Granted, a lot of those early kills, the first 4 he got pretty useless in those round losses, but regardless, he's turning around. He put that sniper away. He was the scout over towards that A side, got punished, but then Red made the mistake. I've been very critical of Elevate in that one. When you have numbers, you can't just give up that much of the bomb site. You need to trade out Plat more effectively. Regardless, Elevate makes the play. Now they have the advantage.
Niall still has his Camo to work with, but they just lost Joe. Already, man advantage to Elevate, make it 2-on-4. Niall's never gonna use his Camo in search and destroy. And Urban all alone here versus 2 players. It's Zed and Watson out for blood.
Elevate getting really aggressive in this round. Just needs to play his life. Urban does have this FTL, so if he picks up the first, expect him to pop it to try and get the clutch. Needs to go grab this bomb though first.
Lots of time to work with, 50 seconds to go. And now he has the bomb. There's the first pick. FTL jump to safety if he wants it. Zed pre-aiming the doorway, and just as Urban moves, Zed gets into motion. Urban is hunting. Did he see the corner of his head? No, it looks like we're going to see this round extend.
That was so close. Oh my gosh.
And now he has an idea. Zed fires first, but Urban lands the first bullet. Plenty of time, still 22 seconds. He's gonna go for the plant though. And he's too far to the right. Easy round here for Zed unless Zed chokes it. Zed is gonna get the shots at him, doesn't finish, and backs away. He's playing for time here. So it's all on Urban at this point.
Not sure why Zed backed up, but regardless, he has the time on his favor now. Not going for the plant is Urban. They're so close to each other. The kill might go down. No,
wow,
they're not gonna do it. Elevate takes the S&D. Whew, that got super close there. I cannot believe Urban barely missed him at that tank right there.
That was a game of search there, Teep. That was a game.
Really poor first half of search, but then it turned around. I think both teams made good adaptations. Red Reserve was better early at getting map control, gaining information, and as soon as Reedy really put that away, put the sniper away, got with his teammates, and they started trading out to get map control, that's when it turned around for their favor.
Niall never popped the Camo as well. That is something that's going to haunt Red Reserve. It's their best game mode, and you just dropped it. So now, series is tied up 1-1. When we return, it's the swing game. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we got Uplink for you. Welcome back to the Call of Duty World League. This is Stage 1, Week 4, and here's a look at your key player matchup brought to you by G Fuel. We got Joe from Red Reserve going up against Watson from Elevate.
You can see the stats right here. Both these players are going to be very important going into this map number 3 specifically. Joe needs to turn it around, though. You see those initial stats from the first series. You know, they did play against Optic, so I think he's going to turn it around here, but both these players are going to be important for putting on pressure on the other team.
That is your G Fuel key player matchup. When we return, game number 3, it's time. We're going to Uplink, team. And we are ready to go. Game number 3 just moments away. There's a look at Elevate, who had a terrible start to their search and destroy, but they held strong. They switched up their strats, they adjusted, they adapted, and they won the game 6-4 after being down 2 rounds. Pretty strong finish, and now we're going into a game 3 all tied up. I got a pleasure to cast Red Reserve going up against Optic Gaming, though, in Uplink. And on Frost, that was such a tight matchup. On the other end, we just watched Elevate going up against Enigma 6. Who do you give the edge to in this game type in particular?
Looking at these previous matchups, both teams look kind of rusty in some of these game types. That Search and Destroy really developed both teams' strategies over time. So initially, I think I give the advantage to Red Reserve because they played Optic so darn close. Those defensive stances were very, very impressive, but they need to score more points. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that.
Taking a look at some numbers from game number 2. Reedy dropped double digits, finishes with 10 kills. We talked about his early game, a little rough with the sniper. As soon as he put it away, he was a massive factor getting first bloods with the NV4 at short ranges, doing work at long range. And on the other hand, Urban impresses once again, this time with a 2.2 in Search and Destroy.
We talk about stats being so important in Call of Duty and how the outslaying team wins the majority of the time in game types, but I weigh those, last 4 kills that Reedy got 3 times more important than the first 4 or 5 he got in those rounds that they were losing. So yes, he had a great game overall when you put it all together, but the game-changing play was him just simply putting away that sniper and getting those trades. Going even in those last few rounds, we're winning them rounds.
Just running with a teammate, getting ready to trade with the opposing team. We're going into game 3. It's throwback Uplink. It's time to get this party started. Ran into Reedy backstage. I asked him, how do you feel coming into the Uplink? He says, pretty good after this. I asked him, did you get a chance to scrim it, practice it at all? He said, nah, but this should be a good warm-up.
Well, they got to figure it out on the fly, I guess. Middle map going to be very important for both these teams. Going to see which of these NV4 players are going to be the dominant ones if they decide to run it. We're on board with Urban to start off here. Has this ERAD. Let's see if he can have another game like Hardpoint.
Yeah, and he dropped 31 with a K-bar. Keep that in mind. So he is switching it up, going back to the SMG. He's got the pistol in the back pocket. He wants to do nothing but get up close and personal here. And Urban is going to open it up against 2 opponents, just shreds through Watson. He is not done holding forward, and he's going to be punished in the back lines by Rated. Meanwhile, that drone still remains untouched. It's going to be Red Reserve dropping 2. Elevate is going to hold on defense. Now it's their turn to attack.
Having numbers over towards middle, some nice shots from Rated. Zed opens up with 2, and now they're deciding to move the drone very quickly up towards blue. No, it's a bit of a juke. It forces the other team to rotate, and I love the play. Make the other team go to a position they don't want to be. Not sure why he decided to force it up towards middle, but the push still is happening. Rated trying to lock down these last 2 players.
No.
Might be able to get the last one, the reset coming in.
Rated is able to pick up 2, looking for a 3rd. He's on a 7 streak now. He's working on those Trinity rockets, a kill and a half away from the bombardment. Will he be able to get it done? We're going to see the drone in hand of Watson while Rated is distracting, but Urban and Joe from Red Reserve are making it tough. Finally, Rated is going to be finished, but not before securing 2 score streaks.
Rated starting off with 8 kills, but no points on the board. Drone moving over towards this top barn side. Rated going to be the first line of defense. Does earn some score streaks early. Has the Scarab and the Trinity rocket whenever he decides to pop those to put some extra pressure on the other team. Joe, being a nuisance over towards barn, decides to pick up that 2nd player. So 3 dead on the side of Elevate as Red decides to push.
I'll be honest, Steve, it's so tough for me casting these 2 squads. 2 red teams, both from Europe. one with the name Red Reserve wearing blue. Yeah. Shawnee on your screen, not going to be able to get very far with that drone. 3 down, though, for Elevate, and fortunately, a drone reset came in. So we got 3 minutes and 10 seconds still to go in our first half. The score, 0-0. Elevate, though, coming out hotter, it seems. They have simply been the stronger slaying team, and it's been a one-man army, just like in game number 1 where we saw Urban going off. This time, it's rated from Elevate.
Some nice slaying going back and forth, but doesn't seem like either team knows really what to do with this drone off of kills. The Trinity rocket popped at a pretty weird time. He does pick up 2, though, so the drone moving very quickly. Might get the pass off, so a dunk going to be coming in from Elevate. A nice play from Rated to call that Trinity to be the lead blocker. Usually you need a player to push out a lane, but you have rockets. Just use those.
Rated the only one up in the middle of the map. Grabs drone, throws it through the tunnel. And now it's going to be scooped up here by Nile. Urban leading the charge on the opposite end of the map. Going to try and be the lead blocker here for Nile, who wants a dunk. 2 defenders, though, and they are too strong. Rated again with the NV4 this time. Shuts down the drone carrier, as well as picking up his 3rd or 4th double kill of the game.
Such a slight hesitation from the drone carrier there. Could have gotten that one off. The interception probably would have come in, but regardless, a chance to get points on the board is so important. Urban being annoying over towards Barn, the flank coming in as they pinch these players over towards Lime. Rated making a huge play, gaining that drone to the opposite side of the map. Maybe Zedo can win the race here. He does get the kill. Drone in his hand. He's trying to get past the wall, but no. Shut down by Joe.
Speedy Zed shut down. Red Reserve starting to come alive. Nile on a 3 streak, finally going to be ended. So no streaks for Red Reserve to even think about at this point. Urban going to get caught out by Reedy, who's switched over to the SMG as well. So really, we got Rated with the NV4 going off at positive 12. Everyone else on his team has been crushed in the last minute and a half. Double negative is Zed. Watson's double negative. Even Reedy is barely below, I guess, even at this point in the game.
Rated winning this NV4 battle fairly easily. Nice shots going in, but Red answering back. Zed can get this one off. Will it go in? No, drops a little bit short. Almost gets a crazy bounce to bounce in, but Red holds strong. Elevate just not utilizing these kills effectively. When you have someone dominating like Rated, you have to take the drone the appropriate side when you're out slaying. They keep going to that weak side, and that's why they're not executing these points.
Shawnee trying to move up the drone. He's got a lead blocker. Urban's gonna fall though, so he's got to defend himself. Well done by Shawnee. The Scotsman has 2 more teammates with him. This is a dunk here. Only 1 defender up, and it's Watson who is not fast enough. Watson's traded out. Elevate still fighting for control of their base. They haven't cleared it out completely yet. That kill from Rated, though, should spring them. There's just 1 more challenge over the middle of the map. Now it's going to be Elevate's chance to attack. 18 seconds left, Teep. Will they be able to put 1 more point on the board?
They should be able to. Some huge kills over towards Underpass. Maybe they just need to take this drone and force it up the middle. Watson does pick up the first kill. Drone carrier does make it past. Does he get the one off? Looks like it is going to drop in. So a nice last second push from Elevate to take just a 1-point lead leading into the second half. But Rated is playing so darn well with that NV4 being that turret that they need him to be, and the fact that they're taking the drone over towards blue, forcing it through underpass in situations, they should have more points on the board. When you're out slaying, that's when the game should be calm and easy for you. They're making it very frantic.
You need 1 more guy, right? You need Rated kind of on that back end, being the last line of defense, doing the range damage with the NV4, but then you need someone to show up with an SMG. Zed, he's been purely focused on the objective. It may be too much to a fault, because he was 4-8, now he's 4-13, make it 4-14. Clearly, he is not shooting enough opponents, and there's a bit of a team kill by Urban. Get out of the way, Nile. Urban will eventually fall. It's a stalemate once again in the middle of the map. But Elevate, they need to look at what's happened in this first half. They need to adjust just like they did in the second half of Search and Destroy. They have a 1-point lead, but this could quickly dissipate as now you have Red Reserve on the charge. Here comes Urban for a dunk.
This is exactly what I mean. Multiple lead blockers. Red gets these kills and instantly gets points, and that's the game changer. As long as you take the drone the correct way where you have teammates, that's why you're going to get points. So you do have Rated having an absolutely crazy game. Zed's kind of throwing it away by forcing the drone into places that it shouldn't be in the first place.
Rated wrapping around is going to find another player off guard, or is he? Nile was waiting, immediately flicks over on him and takes him down. Zed and Reedy, though, answer back in the middle of the map. So it's Elevate back on the attack. Urban trying to shut it down, picks up one. Shawnee's there to reinforce, and it's Red Reserve holding strong for now. Rated getting back into the action, going for at least a 1-point toss, just one defender to beat. He had the camo to work with as well. Not gonna happen. Urban again.
These defensive stances from Red have been so impressive. Not sure what Urban was trying to do. Didn't have any teammates with him. And it's plays like that. I don't understand it. You're alone. Just reset the drone and try and pick up a kill. But regardless, it's just sort of sitting outside a barn. Elevate does have control. Rated gonna pick up this. Ooh, just kidding. Shawnee guns him with a bit of a drop shot. Drone is being forced, but Red shuts it down. A very weird uplink game with the drone on this side of the map. Too much, in my opinion. Overdrive ready for Nile, though. And
Nile is also 20 and 14. He's your best Slayer up to this point. Nile not going to get very far, even after resetting the armor. The E-Rads are too strong. Reedy and Zed stopping the push. It's going to be 2 versus 3 on the map. Red Reserve closest to the drone, going to look for a pass. Won't be able to get it up to Joe. And we'll see how this one plays out. Watson trying to get away from his base. There's 2 defenders to his right. Can he cut through the barn just in time? You do have Rated on a long flank, but it just seems the timing is off here, Teep.
And this is why this is the quote-unquote weak side of the map. There's so many areas that the other team can spawn up and just sort of wait for you. Peek out over towards the silo, the barn door, all the way in the back right. There's so many corners that it's so tough to clear out. That's why you usually don't see teams take it on this side. But I guess when the drones never reset, you just have to keep rotating over here. Rated already has this camo to work with. Nile has the overdrive and Urban has a payload as well.
When do you decide to just throw it out of the map yourself?
You should. There it is. Finally, you have one player on the other side of the map and you're forcing the spawns over there now. So things should go back to somewhat normal. Going to see who's going to be able to win these gunfights towards middle. Red gets the better of it early, but still back and forth.
I feel relieved to get away from the field. This feels good, guys. This feels right. On board with Reedy for the moment. Switching over to Watson. 3 lead blockers. Up first is going to be Reedy, the front line. You got Zed right behind him. Reedy falls, but the kill's being traded. That's 3, almost 4 down. Rated will find the 4th, but he has little support right now.
All he needs to do is stay alive, wait for his teammates to flood up towards middle, and retain this side of the map for his team. Picks up 1, shouldn't be challenging anymore, just needs to play his life. Settling down a bit. Oh, I guess so. When you're not missing, you can challenge like that. He has the camo. They need to get the drone to him ASAP so he can just make this play, get the easy dunk. They might just try and force it out, but now he has it. Gonna go on this high wall run.
That took so long to get him the drone.
Camo.
Here comes the camo.
Pop it at the perfect time. Gonna jump over these players with the lead blocker. They take the lead with the dunk with about a minute left. Gets the kill also.
It's anyone's game though. 1:03. A dunk reclaims the lead for Red Reserve. A toss could force some overtime. Now the streak's coming in here for Rated.
Might be a bit early to call these in, but it is making Red play in these weird spots where they have to get under cover. Rated with a huge gunfight over towards Bus, keeping map control so that the drone cannot move forward from the other team. Red just needs to settle down and pick up 1 or 2 of these kills before they force the drone, but no. Joe decides to take it up underpass when he just needs to pick up a kill first.
3 up for each team. Urban behind enemy lines. Trying to find picks on Elevate. Grabs 1. Player waiting for him at the bottom of the stairs. It's Watson. Rated on your screen. Holding down the train. 16 seconds left here, Teep.
Watson decides to pop the overdrive, just wasting as much time as possible. Red Reserve might go out this entire game without using this. Urban's been holding FTL since hardpoint on the first rotation. I swear they don't get a chance to use these to pass the last desperation attempt coming in. He does have the camo. The 1 doesn't get off in time. The game's over. You can't have all those payloads for that many minutes and not use them. Huge mistakes. I will say it again. Poor execution on uplink from both sides, and you said it, Chris. When they were spending so much time on field, just get it off the map and reset.
At the end of it all, Elevate, they get it done with the camo dunk. On the other side, we didn't see a single payload used effectively for Red Reserve. And now, after starting off with a blowout on hardpoint, Red Reserve is going to drop their big lead in search and destroy, and they're going to fall apart in uplink. This is now Elevate series to take.
It's just mistakes from both sides. It's just a matter of who can execute on them better. But that slaying, that game from Rated, oh my goodness, dominant with the NV4, positions himself perfectly to set up that camo play. You can see when he was waiting for it what his thought process was the whole time. And that makes it so much easier for your teammates to spawn up, know what they need to do, give them a singular job on the map. They do it perfectly, they get the dunk.
Fantastic work there from Elevate. Will they be able to close out? Game number 4 is coming up any moment. Before we get to that, though, let's take a listen in for some predictions.
The final week of the Global Pro League Stage 1 regular season is upon us. The green group, comprised of Optic Gaming, E6, Red Reserve, and Elevate, is sure to be one to watch. In the 4th place spot, I've got the European squad Elevate, failing to show up again in a major LAN environment. At the CWL Dallas Open, they failed to win a single series, and I fear that that trend will continue here. In the 3rd place spot, I've got another European team in Red Reserve. While roster changes have absolutely paid off up to this point, I feel like their luck runs out here. A strong top 6 performance at the CWL Dallas Open and consistently playing well in the online 2K Pro Points series have arguably made them the 2nd best team in Europe. But I don't think they're going to be the 2nd best team in this group. The team going into the 2nd slot in this group for me is going to be Enigma 6, the North American team that has been up and down throughout the CWL season. I think is going to get back on track here. They're very well prepared. They've been putting in a lot of time, and now they look to prove that they have what it takes to beat some of Europe's best. Finally, was there any surprise? The number 1 in Group Green for me, Optic Gaming, the best team currently in competitive Call of Duty, coming off major LAN victories at the CWL Paris Open and the CWL Dallas Open. This team is back in form, and I don't think anybody in the world can beat them right now. There we have it. The green group for me is one that's easy to call. Do you share the same thoughts? I want to hear them no matter what. Get on social media, use the hashtag CWL Pro League.
That's Courage's predictions. He may get some predictions wrong here. Taking a look back at game number 3, you can see it was Elevate's rated, the one-man army. 39 kills, just shy of the 40 bomb, but he got hot early. He never slowed down, and he's a big reason that Red Reserve didn't put more points on the board.
Really kept his team in that game. It's impressive that a player can sort of take over in Call of Duty. It's really fun to watch when it does happen, and he not only was picking up all the kills to keep that middle map control and drone control to stop the other team from pushing, but he set up that last play to get the lead as well.
Red Reserve still needs to work on their teamwork before jumping on the objective. We're going to see, can they battle back and force a game number 5? Apathy said, you know what, these 2 European teams, they're so evenly matched, I see it going the distance. We're about to find out. Is our expert on the weekend correct, or is it all over right here? Elevate is on match point.
Moving over towards Throwback Hardpoint, will Rated take over like he just did on Throwback Link? Does play a little bit different when you are using that NV4, but Shawnee just could not seem to handle it at all. I don't think he had a very good game because Rated just shutting him down in those long-range window-to-window gunfights that you can see there. They're so important here. The rotation is going to be ever so important over towards Barn. I think Elevate's going to take this one, to be honest.
I'm feeling Red Reserve.
Okay.
You know, we talked about Joe being the key player in our G Fuel key player matchup for game number 3. Joe came to life. Joe dropped the numbers. Now it's time for Shawnee to come to life and for Urban to return back into the beast man he was in game number 1. Shawnee's going to find first blood. Nile is going to trade out. Watson, though, with the 2-piece, is going to make it 2 down for each team.
Looks like both teams running an early NV4 on both those sides. Red getting the early advantage, and Nile just hanging out, laying in this hard point, milking up so much time. You're not used to seeing so much time on this middle hard point. Very contest heavy. There is one player, Reedy, staying alive for the side of Elevate to make sure no more time going back in favor of the other team. Some nice shots from Watson to clear it down. A 2-piece from him to get map control back.
And just to remind everybody what's on the line, this, of course, is our group stages where we're going to play round robin. Each team will play every other team in the group twice. So 6 total matches for your team. Both of these squads are coming in with a loss, and at the end of the day, it could come down to these 2 for 3rd place. 4th place, they don't get a spot in stage 2. They aren't guaranteed a spot at the championships at the end of the year. So they need to play their hearts out. This could be a major impact on the whole weekend. We take our eyes over to Urban, and Urban back on a 2 streak. Joe inside the hard point, keeping his streak alive as well. Urban gets the calls. It's time to jump in, but there's 3 members of Elevate waiting for him. Rated and Zed clearing house.
That cannot happen. Looks like the setup from Red Reserve was just a bit too far spread. Rated was able to walk in what seemed like the front door, get a 2-piece to break it. 30 seconds to scrap, going to be going into Elevate's favor unless Red can get there and contest. Some nice gunfights. One, surprised Joe was able to win that one. Going to contest with his team as the pinch comes in.
Joe trying to break through the front door. Not gonna happen. Watson, too strong, is gonna pick up the final kill. You hear the nice here in the venue. Elevate getting fired up. They've tied the score. Now they've taken the lead. And Watson continues on his 4 streak. He's working towards those Scorchers. Not even messing with the Trinity Rockets. He's going for the ward in this game.
I like it. The guy's not missing a bullet. Picks up a bunch of kills. 10-5 start the 2.0 KD, whereas everyone else in the game is, pretty much even for the most part. Red Reserve should have won most of that time at Barn, but when the slaying like that from Elevate's coming in, guess rotation doesn't matter too much.
Watson was on the far end. He got picked, but Zed on the opposite finds 2. Reedy there to trade out. At the end of the day, though, it is Red Reserve's Joe who is underneath that bike path, continuing to score. And it is nothing but blue in the kill feed. Red Reserve sweeping Elevate. And this is where I get worried for Elevate. In their first game, they started running 1 at a time. They were all spread out, now starting to converge, but it's Red Reserve continuing to score. I want to hear, how is Elevate going to get back in this game? Rated just went off. Currently, he's at 2-8. How does he come back in this one?
Where is everyone? Talk to me.
I'm on the boss, I'm on the
picket.
On the boss, dead.
One's right at the back, so I can play my life. I'm playing my life.
Follow me, dead.
One bullet,
One's right at the back.
No, hold hill, one
Yeah, Sean got me in the back.
No, he's dead.
Nice.
Nice.
Let's
go to the back, let's go to the back.
At the back, just play
Sure.
live, Josh. Will
I spawned. There's one behind you, blue, I think.
back, Joe.
One's behind me, blue. One's behind me, blue.
One more. Taking it. I've got it. From blue. 3. Pick up in the pass, one of you talk.
Yeah, I got it.
One's from blue, one's going back blue. I got the left. He's just spawned in bullets. Two. One top our building, one left. Our picket stairs now coming to the left.
Yeah, top of building, wait. 2 monument.
Nice.
Fucking right. I'm coming as well.
Alright, big kills in the right there, Reese. I spawned at mid. Upstairs on me. One bullet, Joe.
Come on, pass with me, someone.
Yeah,
On the pass. Nice, good shit.
Joe was on the right.
I'll see him.
Be bowling. I spawned top building.
Dead. One more. On the pass.
Nice.
On the pass, one bullet. Let's come in on the pass. Challenge you on the pass.
Go. Help me.
Watch blue.
Stop shooting us.
They're on the new hill.
There's one behind me on the pass. He's gone new. Go.
Stop food. He's shot. Dave, stop food, weak. Dave, stop food.
I spawned blue.
I'm
I'm gonna come tunnel, Rose. Tell me when you're ready.
I'm right on grannies.
Elevate playing with all kinds of energy. You can hear it in their voices. Everyone communicating for the squad. You look at the kills. Watson trying his best to put the team in the backpack. He's had some nice doubles, especially on Hill. Stayed alive for so long, just dipping and diving, being such an annoying target to hit. And Watson on the flank now is able to find Urban up in the window. So now they have middle of the map control, and Watson's hunting for new spawners.
Just a great job to get slaying in. They're not really focusing on rotation much in these hard points, but Watson pops in, gets a double almost every single time they push. Seems like Red Reserve has the advantage early on these rotations, but Elevate fires right back.
And what was most impressive to me is switching over to Watson's face cam during that, when we cranked up the headphones, and just seeing that he is communicating. Historically, some of his teammates would give him flack for, yeah, he's a great slayer, but he just goes mute or he stops talking. Obviously something he's been working on in his game. They've brought it back, but Red Reserve will re-steal the lead. It's Elevate set up for the new hill first, though, and Reedy is in the back.
Like a quality setup, but Nile and Red get some crazy wins there. Let's focus on this communication from them as they break this hard point.
Help me on the pass and tell me if
Let's go this fucking time.
I have on the pass.
They go mid.
They can go lemon.
P1 weak.
Punky mid.
P1 weak, he's gone lemon.
On the pass, dead. I'll come back.
Can I hit me? Can I poke it?
Yeah, get back.
Green, one shot. Watson's one shot. I'm one shot hill.
Play streak short.
Alright, Watson's one shot again. Nice, good play. Another one there, there's another one hay bells. That's what I've got field,
FTL weak.
Play streak short.
No, I couldn't.
One to the back right. One to the back right of the hill. 15 seconds.
Back. Dead weak. Dead weak at the back.
Scar med.
Nice. He's gone back left a bit. Back left.
On the
right now.
One more. Really on no, big kill.
Watch it, big hill.
Watch. Nice, Reedy was up.
Yeah, Reedy was up. Could've gone tunnel, could've gone tunnel. Here, one's P1, one's P1.
I have the crossover mid.
Oh, my fence, front green, front green.
Behind you, green, on the pass, green on the pass, green on the pass.
Yeah, weak, and he's played it back. He's played it back to green. Played it back to green.
Oh, fuck. I can't see me
I
back.
spotted it. It was Reedy, it was Reedy.
Then hill.
Please kill Reedy.
Hill. Nice, good shit. Nice.
P1, let's go.
Turn around straight, turn around straight.
Ivy push.
Oh my god, we fuck, man. Two, got me.
Last one.
Alright, Joe play mid.
Why is this mid? Two push hill, one mid. Raise.
Alright, it's free mid. Free around it.
Point mid.
Alright, 20 seconds.
Turn mid straight, dead.
Alright, let's go.
Break, dead. That's a break, come in, go fine. Nice, get
Alright,
down.
let's go, let's go.
I'm
on it.
I come out.
I play bowling.
They're gonna be there.
So some quality hard point there at the bike path from Red Reserve as they maintain this just really small lead, but still a lead nonetheless. 26-second point lead as we go over towards baseball. Niall opens up with 2. On a 4 streak now. Can he pick up the last few players in the hill? Looks like he can. Almost turns on that last player. Zed wins that one though.
And that was a big win here from Zed. Elevate. They're inside baseball. For how long, though, is the question. 3 members of Red Reserve trying to break through. Watson's going to grab one. Will not find the second. And you're going to see Rated fall at the same time. Reedy, though, trying to break through. 24 points to go. Red Reserve, they're going to have control. But this one has been back and forth until this camo.
Not sure how I feel about that camo, to be honest. Yes, it's a good way to break, but it's not much scrap time to go for it. You can use that for a more important rotation, whether it be barn or a hill. You can guarantee yourself and your team more time if you get a break, but regardless, he decides to pop it. Joe has his camo. Urban has the FTL. He needs to use it at this point. I need to see at least one FTL from Urban here.
Watson, he was on fire to open things up. He's +6 now, but he has slowed down a little bit. In his absence, Reedy, who is having an awful game, went on a nice 5 streak, and you heard from the communication on Red Reserve, they were calling him out, need to kill Reedy. They know how important score streaks could be at the end of this game. Zed trying to earn some of his, will not be able to. Let's take it back over to Red Reserve here any moment. I want to see how are these payloads going to come into play, because if you've been watching this series, you'll know no one from Red Reserve has used a payload effectively.
Especially on the uplink, they could have secured the victory there, decided to hold them for just situations where they didn't really get a good chance to do it. We need to focus on Joe on the rotation. Niall does have the Centurion, but looks like the rotation gunfights have been won by the hands of Watson. Decides to pop his payload to break in. But Joe needs to use his camo to the best of his ability. There is one player that's going to shoot at him from the back right. He does play his life. Might decide to pop the camo here.
Joe waiting for his health to come back. Teammate with him now. There's the challenge. Nice team shot. Centurion's going to be cleaned up. And now you have all 4 members of Red Reserve alive. Challenge in the back, but it's Rated who runs in alone. Second challenge coming through. And that time, it's Watson winning the fight. Urban's going to trade out. And at the end of the day, it's Red Reserve who continues to score. One challenger up close. It's going to be Zed. He is eliminated, and this should be Urban's hill.
Urban locking down that front door, picks up 2. The trade's going to be coming in from Niall as well. No payloads needed, I guess. You need to use them to probably lock out the game at bike path. They are getting the last 15 seconds or so, but there is one player alive. Reedy doing his best, but the spawns are too strong from the side of Red. They're going to get the last 10 seconds or so. They're getting so close to winning at 2:37.
And look at player 8 on your mini-map. Niall all the way across in the bottom right. He came off spawn, and he sprinted across the map, trying to spread across, waiting for his opponents. Will he catch him from behind? They're pinching. No one expected Niall to be here. Now there's chaos as his teammates are hitting from the front. Niall almost picks up the second. Watson holds strong, but Shawnee has broken through.
Zed does have this reactive armor in his back pocket. Needs to make a play with it, in my opinion, here. The camo is coming in from Joe. The slide, he misses all the bullets. Zed needs to hit a shot there. Yes, the camo was there for a second, but it went away. He should hit those shots.
4 streak now from Rated, turning up at the end of this one. Remember how negative he was. He was -9 at one point in this game. Now everyone from Elevate starting to outslay Red Reserve, but it is so late in the game. 184 and counting, but you only have a 7-point margin. That's all Red Reserve needs. And we're coming up on a huge hill.
Niall decides to pop down that Centurion in the back. Should be able to lock down this push from Reedy. Does have the FTL to try and get past. Decides to pop it there. Has the E-Rad. Can't pick up that player in the back. Some nice cover from his teammate in the hill. A 3 dead, 4 dead now. That's game there, Chris. 250 to 198. Red Reserve is going to be forcing this map 5.
Big win there for Red Reserve, and finally you see Shawnee using the reactive at the very end. He is going to stay up, and Urban is going to come in just in time. Keeps them alive and keeps them scoring. It hasn't been the blowout I expected, to be honest. I thought Red Reserve was just going to come through and crush past Elevate. Instead, we're going to a game 5. And this one, if you watch game 2, we know it could go either way.
Yeah, it really could. It's all depending on what maps we're going to see in map 5. It is going to be breakout. So both these teams haven't gotten a lot of practice, and there's no way
this might be their first time playing breakout.
It might be. It might be. I don't know if the sniper's going to be coming into play from Reedy. It didn't work out too well in retaliation, but it is better on breakout. It's going to be a heck of a map 5.
The good news is for both teams, they've been watching all 3 weeks leading up to this. They're familiar with the game mode. Who's going to come out on top and take our 3rd series of the day? Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. I'm ready to party. I hope you guys are too. It's a Game 5, our first one of the weekend. We got Red Reserve going up against Elevate, and we already talked about just how important this series is. Your top 2 of the weekend, they're going through. They're playing for $500,000. Third place on the weekend, well, you're locked in for Stage 2, a $700,000 tournament, as well as your spot in the Anaheim groups, and you're going to COD Champs. Fourth place, you're playing for your spot in groups at Anaheim in relegation. So a lot on the line, and I have a feeling it's going to come down to the EU teams. Whoever wins first here today is going to set the tone early on.
Oh, definitely. And the way you got to think about it is this map 5 could come down to it. Tens of thousands, even more money on the line potentially for these guys. Whether it's the second spot making it into playoffs, third spot guaranteeing your spots at Anaheim, Stage 2, Champs. So much money on the line here in the Call of Duty World League for Infinite Warfare. Some crazy stuff on the line. Who's taking this map 5? I can't predict it. This series has been pretty crazy.
Red Reserve has looked pretty darn stellar. They beat Optic Gaming in Search and Destroy. If you remember back to their first match, that was on Throwback, though, a map that they've had a lot of practice since the start of the game. This time around, you're coming to Breakout. And Breakout, neither of these teams probably have a whole lot of experience on. There is an opportunity to pull out the sniper rifle, but I think you're going to see Reedy just going back to his standard K-bar, maybe the NV4 with Rated if needed. I'm expecting the squad with better teamwork to win this game, and it's all going to be about the rotations you can get from Spiral over to that A-bomb site so quickly on rotation on defense. Also keep in mind, first picks throughout all of Stage 1 have led to about a 70% game win. Who's going to get first blood in this round? It looks like Nile is going to be running straight up the gut with the bomb. They're going to be targeting A. One defender, though, around the corner. It's going to be Zed.
I love the play. Try and get this bomb down in this close quarter area towards Showers. Nile doesn't waste any time. Zed is here, though, with this ERAD. Might decide to slide in. Looks like he's just going to wait for some of his teammates. Rated is waiting pretty far back, though. They need to make a play here soon.
Your red team Elevate gonna check the corner, see nothing but teammates. Everyone else outside on the balcony. Where is the fun at? They're going for the low wall run, and this bomb is being defused.
No way!
Full ninja.
What? Are you kidding me? Round 1?
Round 1 ninja. We showed it the whole way through. We're not afraid.
I guess not. Bold.
And there you see
Very
Watson
bold.
Watching over his teammate at the end as simply Red Reserve gets in, plants a bomb, and then forgets to look at it.
Just peek or something. Obviously, the other team's going to be at the disadvantage, but Zed just holds square on it. No one checks on it. There you go. Round 1 for Elevate.
Zed set it up himself. You know, there was a player outside who first checked, didn't see Zed, thought it was going to be clear. He never showed himself, never made any noise.
True.
Slips in, gets the ninja, so job well done for Zed. Red Reserve, though, you can expect them to double-check, triple-check the bomb every time from here on out. Rated has spotted Nile in the far back. All 8 players remain up, though, as they're looking for first pick. Rated, normally the bomb carrier, and you know that is going to be in the back of Red Reserve's mind. They have a feeling the bomb is going to be over here at B, but it's going to be a slow rotation, and Joe is behind everybody. Joe is finally going to shoot at Reedy. Now looking for the second. Joe plays this one perfectly. Red Reserve gets 2 picks, only Watson left alive. Shawnee and Nile need just 1 kill, but Watson not going down without a fight.
Been in a pretty bad situation here. Needs to get out and relocate. Looks like the players from Red are going to be chasing him as he goes on this outside wall run to get more sort of information, but no, he's closed down, and Joe makes a huge play there. Reedy loves to play those sort of late flank situations on the other bomb site. So They're just kind of messing around towards that left side of the map, and Joe just sort of follows him for as long as he possibly can. Reedy gets away over towards top middle, and then he wins the second gunfight over towards middle. Headshots on both. Quality ERAD play there from Joe.
Solid stuff from Joe. If you watched him in the hard point, you saw how sneaky he likes to play along the mini-map. It pays off here in Search and Destroy. Joe and Nile with 4 of their team's 5 kills on the other side. Watson has 2 of his team's 4 kills. It's been a low-killing game after the initial ninja coming in from Zed. And it's Red Reserve back on the attack. Niles going back to this bomb site. Zed in the exact same position he was the first round. This time, he's got Rated watching his back.
I like it. Just go back to the play that should have worked to begin with. Zed picks up one, but then Joe shuts him down, so nice trades over to the site. And this is how the first round should have gone. Reedy on the flank, though, picks up one. Nice shots into the second, over towards Joe with the bomb site. They clear it out. Diffuse going to be coming in.
All right, so that's how it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
We see the proper execution on defense. Well done, Elevate. They are going to reclaim the lead now at 2-1. They get a chance to attack coming up next. The final victim here, it's Urban, as Watson just shreds him up close with the NV4. Watson, he played great last 2 games. He keeps it rolling here in this game 5.
So when you plant in that shower situation, I don't think going back to your side is the right call at all. You need to get control of something, whether it's middle towards loading, so you don't have to worry about those 2 doorways, or you need to clear out their side so you don't worry about this long line of sites and basically pinning yourself into that bomb site. So I think if they do decide to go to that A site again on offense, I'm talking about Red, they need to switch up the post-plant positioning a bit.
Elevate on the attack. It looks like you're going to send Reedy on a feint here over at the A-bomb site. Everyone else is going to be at the top of the map over at B. Now remember, last time Reedy was gunned down from behind by Joe. This time he looks for Joe, and Joe still gets the best of him. Urban's going to find a second, and down goes Zed for a third. Fantastic execution on defense. Red Reserve with the clean sweep.
Joe just getting the best of Reedy on those late flank scenarios, and I'm going to go back to it. If Reedy is just with his team, I think they could just go to whatever bomb site they wanted, trade out, because they're going to have numbers in this situation. The defensive setup is so far spread. You're like eliminating the number advantage you otherwise would have, and he's getting gunned down. So he's away from his teammate and getting gunned. It's just not working.
You look at the best teams in the world. Optic Gaming, for example. Who gives them trouble? E-United, who runs as a 4-pack.
Yep.
Panda Gaming, who ran as a 4-pack. Group Up and Swarm. Neither of these European teams like to play S&D that way, though, judging by our mini-map so far. Nile, once again, going with his 3rd straight plant over here at A, and now he's about 70% towards that camo, something to keep in mind late in the game. Nile was able to trade out Zed, though, after getting the bomb down, and Urban is going to find a 3rd. Last man is just going to get off the map, not provide any more points. This is looking ugly here for Elevate.
So that point I made about the changing up the post-plant positioning, you see how the difference was made when they got middle control and decided to go for that quick plant, depending on contrary to when they planted and went back to their side. So obviously that middle setup so much better. You don't have to focus on those 2 doors. So now it can plant, focus on only that doorway, picks up a kill.
We're going to stay on board here with Red Reserve. Urban is on your screen. He's had some nice rounds on defense, and let's see how he sets up. As the opponents are going to 4-stack. They must have heard us, Teep. They're all 4 going to the top of the map. Nile is going to be the player who's going to have his hands full.
Just needs to call this out to his teammate. Some nades coming in. The quick plant from Rated, not wasting any sort of time. And now you see the 4 versus 4 stack going to be coming in soon. Rated needs to be careful, though. A lot of grenades landing on him. Just needs to try and stay alive on this palm site. He pops up, gets taken out by Nile. Number advantage in Red's favor, has camo to pop as well.
Nile never used the camo in game number 2. Despite a 4-2 lead, they let their opponents come back and win 4 straight rounds to finish it. This time, doesn't need it. Shawnee gets the job done. As Red Reserve, once again, builds up a 4-2 lead here in Search and Destroy. Pretty solid defense, solid attack as well. What's the game plan this time on attack?
I think you just go for that same sort of mid setup and get the bomb down again. It worked out great for him on their previous offense, but I want to note that sort of quick adaptation on that defense. They 4-stacked up on the side and made sure that Rated did not get away from that bomb. Rated being put in tough situations. You can see it there on the scoreboard. 0-5 start from him, but how is he really supposed to get away from that situation?
That one's tough. But Rated has to start heating up because he was the first one blooded there. 0-6. From a guy who claimed to be the best Search and Destroy player in the game, he is getting mopped up here by Red Reserve.
Just beautiful rounds from them. They changed it up. They realized the mistakes that they were making in those couple of rounds that they lost, and now look pretty much flawless. Nile playing so aggressive towards loading, picks up the first. Best time to pop that camo because you're in a pretty vulnerable situation. Instead of getting traded out, you pop that and pick up the second. Easy round into their favor, and middle map is just dominated by Red right
And you saw Shawnee in the kill feed there. That was just his 3rd kill, but that's back-to-back big rounds from Shawnee. And you are going to see Red Reserve now on match point. Elevate, they're attacking. It's Zed with the bomb. Rated has given it up this time around. And let's see. At the bottom of the mini-map, Joe just saw Reedy running by once again. Maybe he didn't hear it this time. There's a scarab out scouting. And Reedy is going to find Shawnee. So first blood going to Elevate. This is a round now they could win. Here's another opportunity. FTL jump. And Reedy's going to make the most of it. So big plays coming in. Bomb still not down, but there's just 2 defenders left.
Nile was playing a bit sneaky in that corner up towards B, but it doesn't matter. Elevate close out the round. They get the trades in, and a great FTL usage from Reedy. Getting that kill into cell block. They've shown a little bit of life, but 3 rounds is a tall order.
Nice shots coming in from Reedy as they pick up the final kill. It was rated on the front, Reedy from the back. And Elevate not going down quite yet. Will they be able to mount another incredible S&D comeback? Rated still looking for his first kill, but Reedy, he dropped double digits the first search. He's already at 7. Nile is going to be leading the charge with the bomb in hand once again. Grenades, well, they're incoming. They've caught on to the game plan here. Zed's going to find first blood for Elevate.
They got that call out onto Nile and Joe that plays so darn aggressive in towards loading and showers, and now a 2 versus 4 situation quickly for Red. Looks like Elevate adapting at the best time. Backs against the wall here in search and destroy. Red trying to slow it down.
And the best part here, if you're Elevate, you know exactly where the bomb is. You don't need to jump out 1 at a time and feed Shawnee 3 kills potentially. Instead, they finished the round. I'm just gonna...
I got nervous there.
I'm gonna end that there. That could have gone really, really poorly.
Well, especially when the player bopping up and down using that mechanic to his advantage, like that could get scary so fast. You need to challenge all at once on that last guy, but regardless, they do close it out. Lost my breath there for a second. I got scared. 4-5 now.
Still match point, though, for Red Reserve. Cannot slip up late in the game here if you're Elevate. On your screen to open things up, it's Reedy who has put away the K-bar in favor of the E-Rad. He's probably going to check the corner and look for Joe early on. Take your eye to the top left corner of the screen. You see 3 players stacked up, but now it's going to be Rated dropping back to middle. They're no longer pushing 3 men straight to B. They're slowing down the rounds, looking for an early pick. I like this decision. Reedy outgunning once again.
Decides to switch on this late flank position towards A with the E-Rad. Wow, some nice shots, long range towards cell block.
Free fire.
Sees the shadow, outplays Joe. He knows he's gonna play that situation, clears out this site. The bomb should be coming down. Elevate playing this perfectly. Looks like Urban using a wall run to try and get behind this player. Does he get the kill? Yes, he does. Picks up the bomb player as well. Gets the FTL to get out of there. Can he get the third?
Urban!
Yes, he does. Shuts it down. There is a chance, though. Watson last alive in the 1v3.
Ace me. Urban's gonna get the defuse before Watson can get up here, or no, he's gonna get off the bomb. Nile is gonna pick up the kill, and there is the defuse. Red Reserve, they fell after a big lead in game number 2, but they battle back. We go to a game 5, and they're able to get the job done. Props to Joe for the heads-up plays throughout the search and destroy. Shawnee had some big ones as well. But for a moment there, I thought Elevate was going to come back and steal a second one.
They played those rounds so well. Reedy makes the heads-up play to switch to the E-Rad and outplays them towards the A site. But Urban utilizes that low wall run on the outside, gets the 2 big kills into the bomb, and FTL's out, jukes out the player, gets the third. Urban making huge plays this whole series.
Massive props to Urban. I mean, I heard all the hype from the European players saying, look out for Dave Marsh, Mr. Urban. He's shown up in a big way today. That 3-piece to close out the day, probably the highlight we're going to have from day 1.
Oh, for sure. The top play that we've seen thus far, in my opinion, besides maybe some of the earlier snipes. But, man, that guy in hardpoint, too. I want to give Urban a lot of props. He's playing hardpoint so well for his team to keep them in it. And what do you know? They get to the map 5 and take it out.
The biggest troll in Europe, or as I'm told he is. He's currently on the stage right now with the great courage.
Oh, you're too kind. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Fantastic casting. What a series right there. A 5-game showdown between the 2 European squads. Does not let us down at all. I'm here with Urban from Red Reserve. First off, nice victory there. Want to talk to you guys about coming into this weekend. How you liking the arena? How you liking how you guys are feeling? What are your expectations for the rest of this one?
Well, the arena's great. I mean, the food is the best food I've had at any event ever, to be honest. Yeah, it's just a great arena, and I'm actually really enjoying the event so far.
Fantastic. Well, you guys just got that series victory against your other European brethren. Has to feel good, but you came over to me right away and said, that was too close for comfort. Why did that even go game 5? What, looking back on it now, do you guys need to improve upon heading into your matches tomorrow?
Well, the uplink throwback, we kept playing blue side on the second half, and it was just the wrong play, and we did it for like 3 minutes or so. Reese got camo in the first half pretty much, which was 23-9, and he kept it up through the second half as well. It was really impressive. But we just need to concentrate on our hard points, keeping the slaying up with the American teams, because that's where we're struggling against the NAs.
Well, you guys are most certainly looking to improve as the weekend goes on. 1-1 now, still a lot of Call of Duty to be played, but you were a superstar in that series. What about how your team plays gives you the ability to make stuff like that happen? What is it about Red Reserve that just works?
They just let me do what I want to do in S&D, really. They'll play around me, kind of, so it's really good that they let me do that, and just all the hard points and stuff, it's just when it's clicking, it's clicking.
Well, it most certainly is right there with that Game 5 victory. Red Reserve take the series over Elevate. Benson and the boys take it away.
Thank you very much, Jack. I mean, we heard it there from the man himself. When it's clicking, it's clicking. Simple as that. But we'll break down the series now. Of course, Red Reserve with a 3-2 victory over Elevate. Not sure how many people would have anticipated that. Chance, I want to start with you because pre-game, you got yourself into this great little analysis. You were saying, it was 3-1 last time they played in Birmingham. But everything that basically happened in Birmingham was the reverse in this series almost. I mean, the first hard point, Red Reserve come out and 100-point Club Elevate.
It was crazy. Urban completely went off. He was a god. I think he finished like 26-8 or something completely absurd. Anytime you get, there you go, that 2.58 KD and you get a decent bit of hill time, that's insane. How often do you see on commissary a team getting locked down to a single point? It is not a common experience.
And I think one of the keys here as well to note is when you look at Urban's stat line, it's great, right? 2.58 KD, 31 kills, hill time is on there as well. But Apathy, it wasn't just the kills which impressed you so much about Urban.
Yeah, he just controlled like key areas really well. He was in showers, he was holding cave spawns. Like he was just in the right places at the right time and whenever he needed to be. And on top of that, he was getting the kills, which made it so much easier for his team.
Just kind of added a little bit more importance to the kills he was getting. But Mark, in terms of Red Reserve, obviously still against Something Gaming, and okay, it's Something Gaming, right? It's the best team in the game. Were you surprised by what we actually saw in map number 1 there coming from Red Reserve?
Was I surprised? Yeah, because Urban just destroyed everything. I felt like just watching that game, you can see Red Reserve was always a step ahead. They kept rotating. That scoreboard just sort of told you the story. Cell blocking commissary, that means they knew the importance of rotating. Elevate just seemed to be a step behind. They weren't keeping up with the slaying. I mean, when what I believe like all of Red Reserve was positive, that's a key victory in Hardpoint.
Yeah, and surprising as well, because Elevate just looked really good against Hardpoint. Yes, they did lose the E6, but they played the close game. Yeah. And the first time they even played them, they destroyed them on retaliation. So Elevate, they look good in the respawns, and I know Red Reserve in the past was the better search team, but again, that role reversal kind of came through. Elevate showed up when they needed to. They just kind of fell short in the end, and Red Reserve played good as well.
As you said, Red Reserve go up 1-0 in the series, going over to the second search and destroy. And it was interesting listening to TP cast that, obviously a world champ. I want to find out from you, what is the best way of attacking on retail S&D? Because TP was clearly frustrated with what he was seeing.
Yeah, TP was definitely frustrated. The spawns are a little bit different now, so people don't know necessarily how to attack the bomb sites. But usually, you like when attacking B, you want to have a guy go in bike just to hold that position, because now the defense could get there faster and they can actually be a nuisance. And you just want to have a guy go and bike, a guy usually go hallway or top plat, and that top plat control could be really important as well. And then for A, you just basically hit the wall run, just flood down the street and try to get the control of their side usually is a better way, because if you plan on their side, you can easily hold it from grave and it's a better advantage point.
Make it sound so easy.
I mean, just for me, this was different. You heard early on, Teep was talking about it. There was just so much splitting up, especially from the Elevate side. He felt like 2 of them were sort of just playing that A and flanking, 2 were playing Vice, but I mean, you look at the previous weeks, when you saw Retaliation S&D, especially that defensive side, teams were just sticking 4 together. They were controlling plat and hallway. They were forcing the plant, and they were playing retake situations. So just a little bit of a difference here between sort of North American Search and Destroy in Europe.
Very true. Interesting as well to note, Niall couldn't actually use his camo either, and that was a familiar storyline really throughout the series, that the payload ability not being able to use players not using them when they get them chance.
You're getting gifted with like the powers of God, essentially. If you're given invisibility, you have to use that to full effect, because games can be won or lost based off of individual payload plays. And we've seen that throughout pretty much any series in IW. Guys like Gunless, who constantly make those big plays, win games for your team. So if you're in a situation where you have such an amazing ability and you don't even make an attempt with it, you're just letting your team down.
Very true. Series tied, of course, 1-1. We head over to game number 3, the uplink. This one, extremely close, but I think there's one name that we have to talk about here. Rated had 23 kills at the half, finishes with 39. Basically a Russell Westbrook-like performance.
I mean, even the second half, like 16 kills. kills. I mean, that's pretty much better than average, but 39 kills. And just the start, he starts off 7-0. He gets streaks and really allows Elevate to take control of the game early.
Very true. And again, Apathy, a similar kind of storyline as we had in the last story was the payload abilities not being used at the right times. I mean, from a player's point of view, was there maybe a specific time that you should be considering using those closing out the game?
Well, Joel got camo around, I'll say 35, 40 seconds, and I felt like if he should have tried to put himself in a better opportunity, you know, push up, make that play because they need points. And, you know, it's also good to get it early, but obviously that comes down to Sling. For example, Rated was just a monster that game. He got it really early, which helped his team get that easy dunk and puts his team in the lead. So hopefully, you know, if Joe could have like stepped it up and get those kills, he could have potentially got it earlier and been a game changer.
And speaking of the payloads, on the flip side, you actually saw when there's about 20 seconds left, I think either Watson or Zed, I can't remember which, popped the overdrive, grabbed the drone just to run it an extra 30 feet down the line to throw that drone as far away from as possible just to waste as much time. So even overdrive, always great for those offensive plays, but he used that in a defensive manner and bought his team just enough time because you saw even when Joe popped that camo, if you'd given them another 5 seconds, that might very well have been a dunk on board. So even the time-wasting plays, absolutely clutch.
Yeah, and I mean, just with those 45 seconds left, we saw sort of the fight for drone control in the middle of the map. We didn't see Red Reserve try to take a tunnel. They know Joe, if he got probably one more kill, would have gotten that camo. Would have liked to see them try to throw it up tunnel, take it field, and use that camo blue side. It's just as effective on that side of the map.
Well, Elevate go up 2-1 in this series. We go over to map number 4, and again, hard point. And again, it was Red Reserve that won. So I guess the question, Chaz, is what was the difference really in their play style today as opposed to back at CWL Birmingham?
Well, I don't even know if play style is enough to say, but really just played collectively well as a team. I mean, you look at the numbers from the start of the game. I think it was Rated on the flip side, actually. He started off like 2-11. Meanwhile, no one for Red Reserve had really a slow game, so they played well collectively the whole time and were able to build up that score initially and just hold on as the time goes on.
And just looking at the scoreboard, those two money hills typically we talk about, 2 and 4, Barn and Baseball, they were relatively close. The surprising factor in the difference is those hills that are contest worthy. Bike path in that first hill, that was the difference right there.
Very true. Then, of course, game number 5 comes into play, and I mean, we were all kind of sat together watching it. I know, Chance, you were out here by yourself. You were watching it, but Urban's performance was just T1.
Yeah, fantastic plays all the way around. I mean, even from the start of the game. So the opening play, actually, Red Reserve is able to get the bomb down. All 8 players left alive on the map. Elevate, they clear out that bomb site, and they just hop right on it. They go for the ballsy play of let's defuse when there's 4 players alive on the other side. They got complete control of the area. They knew all the remaining players were going to have to come in from the wall run side as soon as they got control. They went for it, pulled it off miraculously. Other big plays that went down farther away, Elevate. They get that bomb planted at B. This has been a problem for teams in the past that once the bomb gets planted, they don't know how to retake. They try to funnel up the stairwell, and then they just get picked apart. Well, Red Reserve took advantage of that. They sent 4 players all the way around the back of the map, retook that as a full team force, and did it incredibly successfully. Had Rated pinned down behind the bomb site, and there was nothing he could do. They get that first blood, and they just kept pushing up. So again, improving on plays we've seen in the past just on how to retake bomb sites. It's impressive stuff.
Good analysis as well right there.
Yeah.
Good analysis.
I just want to mention one thing. Like you said, that's a big problem a lot of teams do. They send someone on the B bomb to plant, and then he's just stuck there. Like, if they have a guy in the back, it's so difficult to get out of that bomb alive, and usually you put yourself in a bad position. That's why you see more and more now than before. Teams are starting to go A, and they're trying to plant showers, because it's a lot easier to, you know, play your life and get out, and it's better overall.
Makes a lot more sense. Red Reserve, of course, they're going to finish today 1-1 for Elevate. Bad news, they're 0-2. But before we get to our final game of the day, it's score streak prediction time, of course. We were asking you guys watching on MLG.tv/COD some questions throughout the day. I'm curious to get my expert panel's opinions on how you would have won. Dude, you're so good at it. Don't even lie. Don't even lie. First question we asked was, how many points will the winning team win by in game 1? 70% said 40 or more. The correct answer, 153 points was the actual amount there. 30% said less than 40. Would you have gone more than 40?
I don't know. That's tough. Breakout. We've seen so many close games throughout you know, stage 1. So I'm not too sure if I would have went 40. But great job by everybody getting that.
Yeah, very smart people out there in the Call of Duty esports community. Question number 2, I believe, was will any player finish with more than 10 kills in game number 2? Here's how you voted. 73% said yes. Urban with 11 kills. 27 said no. I mean, Urban did play very well in map number 2, Ab.
Oh, extremely well.
That was weird, but okay, moving forward. Question number 3 that we asked was how many total points will be scored in game number 3? Here's how you guys voted up. I think this was a little closer. Yeah, 55% said less than 12, and 45% said 12 or more. Would you have gone with that? You're looking perplexed. You're looking confused.
It's a 50-50. Honestly, that's pretty reasonable. I mean, 12 points or more, you got the combination of the two teams. I'd say that's about the standard average, maybe give or take. Like, I don't know. That's a bit of a crapshoot, honestly.
I feel like Throwback's either like 20-plus points or like 5, so definitely a 50-50.
Fair. We can actually take a look now at our leaderboard as well, though. See if we spot any familiar names. Absolutely no familiar names for me there, I'm going to be honest with you.
No.
No? Ruin plays 6. So. The highest streak of the day, though, 7. Of course, the day isn't over, so maybe either Holmes or Shackers could still be potentially on that streak, but the highest streak as it stands is 7. Of course, you guys can play that game on mlg.tv/COD. But we still have one final game to play here at Week 4 of Stage 1 of the Call of Duty Global Pro League presented by the PlayStation 4. Optic Gaming and Enigma 6 battling for the #1 spot in the group, and of course, a flawless start to the week. MLG Primetime returns with the final game of the day after this.